Hey, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy Tony Shen. I'm back with another beat tutorial video. This is a beginner tutorial video series where I make beats only using stock plugins. Today we're gonna go for more melodic beats. We're gonna make a melody, use stock plugins for the sounds, and then also I'm gonna use only drums for my drum kit that I'm linking down in the description below. So all you gotta do to download this drum kit for free is hit the link in the description below. You'll have my Tony Shan Slap Pack Volume 1 and you can just follow along and then make these beats with me. But before I start on the tutorial, I just like to take the time to say thank you to all the people who've been supporting me. But if you haven't subscribed already and you're watching this video now, make sure to hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification so you get notified every single time I post new videos so I can provide the most amount of value to you. So anyways, let's get started on today's video. We're just gonna make a melody. I like starting with FL keys, but I'm actually I'm curious of like different sounds we can experiment with today. So I might actually start by pulling up one of these plugins. What haven't we really played with? Let's go to Citrus. I mean, Citrus has a lot of like cool sounds that is really good for beginners. Like, yeah, that sounds pretty cool. I mean, I feel like if we make a dope melody and then add some gross beat on it, it'll be pretty cool. So let's make the tempo around like 162, not too fast but not too slow either. So something I really like to do, especially when I have to make melodies like just clicking in the piano roll, is you just come up with a cool little phrase, right? Like, it's really simple. It's just it's a phrase. Again, you can do this many different ways, but just make a cool phrase, maybe like 1 or 2 bars, and then just copy it and then just mess around with the root note, because that determines what kind of chord it is and that kind of leads the direction of the entire melody. So just play around with the root note. So first what you can do is copy the root note of the original note, so like a G here, right, and then like another G here, and that always works. And then just mess with the root note, like go down one half step, so into like a G flat or F sharp. This case would be F sharp. And then just keep copying this, and then keep copying this phrase that we made, and then keep adding more root notes and changing the root notes. Maybe one whole step down. Try out E. And then end on D. Again, like I don't know how this would sound. I'm just trying things out. So that works. And then it might get boring if you just have the same melody, so just add a little bit of variations to change it up a little bit. Yeah, so again, I can't exactly explain to you how I came up with that little melody. You just have to try different notes. Like I can try to explain it to you, but you wouldn't understand it. Like if I just broke down the music theory and told you specific chord progressions that I use, you wouldn't understand it. And it's a lot easier if I just showed you how I came up with it, and then how I experiment. Like for example, this sounds good, but this doesn't. Like, it just sounds out of key. Like I can't really explain why that sounds out of key, but just when you hear it, it just sounds off. So once we have this melody down, we can add even more, but I think this is good for now. So let's actually go to gross beat, and then here is something you can actually copy, and then with growth speed, right? I'm gonna give a little basic tutorial on growth speed. Like this, basically, whenever you have like a diagonal line like this, it makes it like halftime, and like it does like a specific subdivision of like the time that you want to chop up. So, oh, this is halftime, right? Yeah, so this is halftime. So like any straight like subdivision of this line creates like a different halftime effect. So you can go crazy, like you can go crazy. This would work. I mean, here, listen. I like that actually. Now what we can do is kind of play with the EQ just to get a general direction of what we might need to cut out. So what I like to do, especially on my first layer of EQ, just as soon as I finish designing the sound and designing the melody, is cut out some of the low ends, because you need to do that no matter what, right? Because you don't want the lower frequencies in this area. Like if I didn't cut it out, you see there's a bunch of like bands here, there's some frequencies in this region. You don't want there to be a lot, because that would interfere with your 808. It will make your 808 clash with that melody, and it's not going to sound as good and as clean. And then I like to even add a little bit more reverb just to make it sound more wet, just to give it a bigger environment. So turn up the wet knob, increase the size. Okay, and then let's go even let's add more counter melodies. So you could also change up, you know what, we could actually create a pad from the same melody. So Control C, Control V, you know, that copies and pastes. And then this is kind of like, this is cool, but we could actually create a pad just to give it a more ambient type of feel. Now, again, depending on how the pad sounds, we might have to change the way we arrange things, right? Maybe they won't play at the same time together, but maybe for one section, for section A, we'll have the harp playing, and then like the section B, we have the pad playing, just to give it more contrast and give it more variation for the beat. So let's look for a nice pad sound, a free pad sound. Let's go to Citrus again. I know Citrus actually has some pretty cool pad sounds. Just gonna have to find a good one. Wait, I like this. Wait, okay. This preset is called Jupiter. Sounds pretty dope. It's like a mix of bell and pad. I actually really like it. So we're gonna use growth speed again, but I might actually just halftime it this time. So another way to access halftime is go to momentary and just halftime. Wait, this is pretty dope. It's like some space type sound. Again, cut out some of the low ends. We could definitely open this up more. Oh, this is delay. Where's reverb? Okay, here. And then add another layer on top of that. Let's go to, actually, I don't know. What can we add on top of that? Okay, yeah, probably a bell, right? A bell would sound nice. So now that you already have the notes for the other melody, and you have Ghost Channel enabled, so you have, you know, you see all the other notes that you play for the other melody. What you can do is just kind of copy for the next counter melody that you add on top this melody, you can literally just copy every note and it'll be in key. But that gets kind of boring, so you can actually spice things up and change the notes and rhythm a little bit. And then especially when you're starting out, you might actually want to sing. Like singing really actually helps you when you're making beats, because like now I can kind of just think of the melody in my head and I'll be able to map the key exactly to the piano roll, exactly to the MIDI. But when you're starting out, you might actually want to sing. Like I know it's kind of weird and like you might not have the best voice, right? But yeah, try singing like so, and then now you have the melody in your head and you're singing it. All you have to do is try the notes, try the combination of notes, whatever, on the piano roll, and then just make it match the phrase you just sang. Okay, now what we have to do is mess with the EQ a little bit. Now you can actually bring this up an octave, because you see how that's kind of clashing a little bit just with the pad. I mean, you could cut out some from the pad to give it more space. I actually like that better, so we don't have to bring it up an octave. Just make sure these two frequencies don't clash. Like cut out whatever you can here. Okay, now that we have this, we can actually start to work on the drums. So I'm going to use the Tony Shan Slap Pack Volume 1. So again, all you have to do to get this is click the link below, and then you'll be able to download it right away. All you have to do is enter your email, and it'll actually send the email to your download link. So you can, register now and then come back to it later. So yeah, and also after you click the download link, I actually have an offer for like all of my MIDI kits that you can get for like super duper cheap. I have like I think I'm selling like 4 MIDI kits, and then like 3 melody kits. So like I make my own melodies, and like you'll get same melodies but with better plugins and with better sounds, right? And you also get my Tony Shen Slap Pack Volume 2, which I'm not gonna demo right now. I'm just gonna use Volume 1. And then I also have like a bonus loop, as well as some other stuff from other producers. So I have a lot of stuff, and you can actually get it if you get once you download Volume 1, you can actually get all those kits, and it's like super duper cheap. But yeah, basically it's a good way to get really good quality sounds and then kickstart your producer career. Start getting those sales in, right? Use the relay hat. Just pick out the percussion sounds that we want to use, right? Perks. I like this rim. I mean, if you've been producing for at least a month, then you kind of know where to place the snares already and all the claps, nothing too fancy. then the hi-hat, let's just do a simple two-step. So instead of having to do this for the entire time, you can do is right click here and then just hit two-step. So what you can do to make it sound more human a little bit is Control R, so that randomizes all the velocities, and then just do bipolar. Instead of like, if you don't do bipolar, when you move it up, it's only gonna change the velocity up. But if you do bipolar, you have some of them going down as well. So it just makes it sound more human, gives some more energy. And then just fill more steps, like more stutters. At the rims. So with percussion, you kind of just want to fill the spots that other percussion aren't really filling up. So like, I could put another rim here, but I have a snare there already, so I don't really want to add too many percussion sounds. You don't want to have too many things hitting at once. You just want to space them out to create bounce and just to make your mix sound nice, because you don't want all the sounds hitting at once. All right, the next step would be going to our 808s. Now again, if this is your first time making beats like this, you want to tune your 808. So all you have to do is Control E, hit the flag button, and then just detect pitch regions. Now I already know this sounds like C. Like there's a D here, but mostly it's C. So it's okay to like have a little bit off key. Just make sure, like, if you tune it to E, then you're really gonna hear a difference, right? So make sure it's tuned to C. Like I already tuned it to C, but say that thing said E instead, you just right click on E. But I know it's C, and I know it sounds best at C. So I'll have a separate video on tuning 808s later and just tuning other instruments. Like I'll teach you a couple ways, because especially when you're working with samples and sometimes you don't even know what key it is. Like say you go on Looper Man and you find a loop and you don't really know what key it is, right? I'll show you how to figure the key out by ear, right? In a separate video though. And then this is kind of a trick I borrowed from Nick Mira. When you're doing bass, you just want to follow if you just follow your bass notes here, like it's gonna sound good. It's gonna sound in key. Yeah, and then just create bounce, Also, if you haven't already, make an envelope. So I already did this, but what you do is, you just want to create this shape. So you want to turn the attack all the way down, turn hold all the way up, turn decay all the way down, turn sustain all the way down, and then turn release all the way down, so that when you hit the note and release, it releases at the same time, so it doesn't cut over to the next note when you hit it, and it's not going to sound as muddy. I'm going to use the drums, the kick. So with the kick, sometimes honestly, I like to go simple with the kick. I just follow the 808 melody. When the kicks come in, it just gives more energy to the 808 and the bass. So I'm just following the same exact rhythm as the 808. So whenever there's an 808 note being played, the kick is playing at the same time. Open hat just to give it more bounce, give more percussion elements. Just copy. or Juice Wrld, maybe like a little tech on this beat, like an internet money type beat, you know, melodic, energetic, bass heavy. Now we're gonna mix the drums in just a little bit. I already did most of the mixing for the drums, but the one thing you want to note is just the levels. Turn the main melodies down just a little bit because you want the drums to be the center of all the attention. Yeah, and that could be the beat. Yeah, I got some bonus loops in there for you, so like if you don't want to, you know, if you don't want to do all of that, I got some bonus loops in here. Just top drums, just like percussion loops. So you can actually add that to your beat, and then you know you can do it right away. You don't have to go through all of that, all those clickings. Okay, so now we're gonna go into arranging. If you didn't catch what I did earlier, like when I had all of it into one pattern, I clicked split by channel so you could split all of these individual tracks by themselves. So it makes it a lot easier for you to arrange instead of having to copy patterns or whatever. So now you have each individual melody into its separate pattern, so you can arrange it very, very easily. Now, yeah, I'm just going to give you a quick overview of arrangement. I'm going to make another video explaining arrangement and going more in depth. But, yeah, I'm just going to go do a quick overview. So right now I'm going to do 8 bars. Again, this is 8 bars. You know, when you're counting, you might be like, "No, Tony Shen, this is 16 bars." No, this is 8 bars because this is in double time. So this is 8 bars, and then this, like, no, Tony, this is 24 bars. You know, 3 times 8 is 24. No, this is 12 bars because we're in double time. So this is 12 bars. Yeah, so I like doing 8-bar choruses and then either 12 or 8-bar verse and then another 8-bar chorus / hook and then another 12 bars for the verse and then the last hook and then maybe like an outro. So yeah, you know, I'll have the bells come in later. And then let's see, the kick comes in on the second half of the hook, and then maybe the drums too. Beginning of the verse, I kind of cut out the bass because the bass is pretty heavy on your ears, and sometimes it's just too much, and then your ears just get it's bad. Like, you don't want your entire song to have all bass, and also it gives it contrast. You know, like the bass is only gonna hit harder if you have certain areas where there's no bass at all. Just create that contrast. With the melody. With the hats. Just create more variation. And that's the whole beat. Again, you can make this beat by yourself completely for free. I'm gonna play the beat from the start. Before I do that, if you haven't done so already, please hit the subscribe button so you get informed with more tutorial videos like this every other day. And then also don't forget to grab my free drum kit. It's again some pretty dope sounds. We just made a fire beat with it, so you know it's good quality sounds, and you'll also be able to make this beat at home all by yourself, following all the steps I did. So here's the beat. Thank you guys. Again, make sure to subscribe, but hope you guys stay safe out there.